What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the stream. So we're going to be talking about the recent price action for Bitcoin. We are currently testing the 200-day moving average, the 200-day simple moving average, which is a pretty key moment for this trend. We have already touched 42,000, 43,000, depending on what exchange you're looking at. But yeah, so there's a lot of very key things in terms of the market structure, moving averages that are taking place right now. So we're going to be going over all of that in this stream, going over some on-chain metrics and a bunch of other stuff. So definitely stick around. I'm going to play some music, let people join in on the stream. What's up, guys? I see people joining in on the chat already. If you guys are watching this as a playback, feel free to skip ahead. What's up? We got Tower, DeFi Jesus. We got E. We got Mark B. We got Quantum Crypto coming with the $5 tip already. People are flying into the stream already. Rich Buddy, the Wicked Genius, Garcia. Guys, I appreciate you guys all tuning in right away. You guys are the notification squad. And if you guys don't have the notifications set, definitely click that bell icon. Make sure that your notifications are set so that you know every time I do go live. There's a lot of critical stuff happening in the market. It's kind of a mixed bag. You know, Bitcoin's down. Bitcoin's down like 4% this week. But there's some major altcoins running, doing amazing performance for some of these top altcoins. So we're definitely going to be taking a look at this mixed bag of a market. Alex Malero, I don't know. I always botch your name. I appreciate you hopping in the stream. What's up, man? A lot of familiar faces joining in. Guys, I'll be right back. Gonna play some music. Enjoy the music while you're waiting. And I'll be right back. What's up, everyone just tuning in? We're going to get started in just a minute. Be sure to smash the like button, smash the subscribe button, hit that bell icon, click all the buttons you possibly can. up, everybody? Welcome back to the stream. Welcome back. So, got some interesting price action for Bitcoin worth going over. We're going to be talking about, of course, Ethereum, some of the top altcoin gainers recently. You know, we've seen what has been going on recently. We've seen Solana making some crazy strides. Algorand is up 100%. Phantom is up 94% this week. You know, I'm talking about the weekly. Solana up 70% this week. So many altcoins, these top projects, these key projects are doing really well. Right alongside a Bitcoin dump, which is pretty interesting to see, right? Pretty interesting to see that we got this mixed bag of a market. And so let's go over all this stuff. Let's take a look at Bitcoin. Let's take a look at Bitcoin here, guys. So we're looking at the weekly chart, and we have this downward sloping resistance, which we are still above. But really the key thing is the fact that we are still above the $40,000 to $42,000 resistance area. And that's actually the most important thing right now. And also, we just bounced off the 21-week EMA. So for me right now, the way that I see this is just looking from the long-term perspective. We have a major low from September of 2020, a major low along the $30,000 bottom that we formed. And then now we have this bounce, this bounce off of the $43,000 level. So it's generally a macro higher high. And that's pretty good structure overall. If we do end up falling below the 21-week, below this $40,000 to $42,000 level, if we bounce up and use it as resistance, that is when the bearish case really actually gains real momentum, right? If we fell below this resistance box, now possible support box, and used it as resistance on the way down, that's when the bears can say, hey guys, we are possibly entering some sort of longer term bearish pattern. But right now, what do we have? A potential macro higher low. And as long as we're holding the 21-week EMA, as long as we're holding 40 to 42,000, we can go sideways and see a lot of, chop and still build out into a new all-time high for Bitcoin. Right? And this right here is what I think is the most likely scenario. I do think that we could still see a little bit, another wave of bearish speculation, another wave of selling taking place for the short term. That is, of course, always possible. And it really wouldn't be a surprise, right? And it's going to, a little bit of a shakeout. All the weak hands will drop their bags. And then maybe we look to trade sideways before the next breakout. So this is kind of what I'm looking for Bitcoin short term. Again, maybe short term downside, but I don't really care too much about that. And there's some on-chain metrics that I want to look at in a little bit to go over why I believe that this is the most likely outcome. Right now, Ethereum is probably one of the more important charts to be looking at in this market. Very important chart. Ethereum has led a lot of the moves recently for this market, right? This is just what I was mapping out earlier. But Ethereum has led. I didn't even talk about the 200-day moving average, which was one of the points of this video. I'll go back to that. That was for Bitcoin. This macro upward sloping trend line, which was formed at $90 for Ethereum, right? We never went below it. It's one of the best charts, one of the best performers in crypto. Obviously, it's a top coin, but still one of the best performers. And we still have this macro upward sloping trend line. So if we do continue to maintain higher lows, we're coming up on this flat top resistance. And if we maintain higher lows, that's going to put us in an ascending triangle. And Ethereum may actually end up leading the rest of the bull market in a lot of ways, I think. There's a pretty strong narrative behind it now. And I think that if Ethereum may be the leader, and if it does break out with this ascending triangle, it's probably going to lead Bitcoin, and Ethereum will be getting this momentum, getting the all-time high break before Bitcoin. I think that's pretty apparent just looking at this chart. This is the weekly chart. If you're looking at Ethereum and you look left, what do we got? Like 1 or 2 weeks at the top. And we're already testing that. Right, so Ethereum's ready to break into a new all-time high, guys. It's very, very close to happening now. And that'll probably lead Bitcoin. Joa says, I use your doodles as guidance. Guys, sometimes the doodles are actually very accurate. Respect the doodles. Respect the doodles. Guilty Pleasures in the chat. Truth Network's in the chat. Jesus is in the chat. What's up, guys? All the regular faces coming back. You guys, definitely click that link in the description to join the Discord channel. Follow me on Twitter, all that stuff. Just looking at chat real quick. Kevin Blanger's in the chat. Love to see all you guys here. Brian Callier says screen is blurry. That's just you. That is just you. I have another computer here that shows that it's not blurry for me on this separate system. So I think that's just you. Guys, I'm sure the audio is fine. Let me know if the audio is fine, though. Just want to double check. So, yeah, Ethereum, one of the healthiest charts, leading Bitcoin. What else do we got? So actually, let's take a look at the market overall. Let's go to CoinGecko and just refresh this real quick. So looking at CoinGecko, we can see that over the past 7 days, right here, Bitcoin is down 4.7% in the past 1 week. Right? We've seen this nice rejection for Bitcoin recently. But what's interesting is that we've had some incredible performance from other coins. Go to the next, let's click on the top gainers of the past week. Algorand up 96%. Phantom up 88%. What else? We got Quant up 70%. Solana up 68.8% in the past week. Right? So, and this is really exciting for me. Solana is now number 6. I originally was going to buy this at $3, and I didn't. And I've been crying ever since. But if you guys are in the Patreon, guys, in my Patreon, I made the alert on May 24th. Here is May 24th. This was right after Bitcoin hit 30K. And in the Patreon, I made an update, a video update saying, guys, I'm adding KSM and Solana. Right? So these are the kind of updates you get in Patreon. And since then, it's been like, what, 600%, guys. Since that entry right there, 600% gains from just that entry, right? Just buying that last major consolidation. So, yeah, I mean, right now, I think that Solana is probably going to end up, we could probably see some sideways action. I think at the very least, create some sort of sideways consolidation like this, at least a pennant, right? At least a pennant before the next major leg up. I don't think we're just going to be going straight up. So I would expect maybe a week or so sideways with the formation of a pennant at the very least. Maybe we'll see a deeper retrace, but I don't think it's going to last all that long. So on the next major dip for Solana, I think that accumulating, if you haven't, is probably a decent idea. Again, if this bull market is going to continue, right? And, probably the most optimal entry would be like $120 if it gets there, the 50% retrace. But we'll see. It seems like we do have some kind of rejection wick on the daily, but also keep in mind, we had something very similar down here for Solana, August 30th. And even though we got that rejection wick, I mean, we can just kind of just continued straight up, right? So we'll see. We'll see what happens here. We could see another leg up before any real rejection, but, of course, it's a little bit risky buying right now on this pump. But, guys, definitely smash the like button. We have 285 people, which means we should have 285 likes. Hit that like button. Guys, let me know in the chat what coins you're looking at right now. SYD on the net says, or came in with a €5 tip and says, Kevin, what's your take on private coins? Are they worth it? So I'm assuming you're asking privacy coins. And the answer would be, yeah, I mean, like Monero. I think Monero is going to probably do really well. Let's look at Monero real quick. One thing that you'll notice about Monero is that it's had some pretty epic, it had a pretty epic run leading into the last correction. So if you're looking at this, Monero came nearly back to the previous 2018 all-time high, and that came alongside, Bitcoin's run, and then Monero dumped from, nearly 500 down to below 200, and it did that because Bitcoin dumped. But what you saw before was there was a lot of demand. Look at the demand leading into this run. It's probably going to see a new all-time high, guys. Monero as the leading privacy coin in crypto. Of course, there is risks because of regulation. I don't know how the government feels about privacy currencies, private digital currencies. They probably don't like it at all. So there's regulatory risk. But, you know, of course, do your own research. Take your own risks. But I do think we're going to see new all-time highs for Monero. Just fundamentally, it's there. And probably a multi-$1,000 Monero in the future. Whether that's a year from now, we hit 1,000, or, you know, 4 years from now, we hit multi-thousands. I think it's coming. I think it's probably coming if it doesn't get regulated out of the market. I think a multi-$1,000 Monero is coming. So it is the number 37 top coin. So yeah, the market cap is pretty big, but you know, that's $5 billion market cap, right? Solana just hit 60 billion. So Monero, you know, even though Solana has more utility, I'm just giving you that comparison that this can still grow a lot from here. And I do see a multi-$1,000 target as the leading privacy coin. So that's to answer the question that someone just asked about privacy coins. Are they worth it? It depends on what privacy coin you're looking at. Monero, fundamentally, the best privacy coin. There's other projects like Zen that are working on privacy as well. But I mean, fundamentally, in terms of the community, Monero is the safest bet. Baron says, what do you think the market cap will be for the entire market at the peak? That's a good question. I would have to take a look. What is it right now? I think I was eyeing up like 7 trillion or something like that, if I remember correctly. Let me see what chat's saying here. No, he says hello from Ethiopia. Kelman Schmenson. I think you spelled my name wrong. Yeah, also that reminds me. There are because you spelled my name Kelman, which reminds me of this scammer recently that named themselves Kelvin and tried to be basically pose as me. Guys, there's so many scammers everywhere that just pretend to be me and pretend to be everyone, like all your favorite YouTubers. And if you ever get a message from anybody saying, hey, what's up? You want to send me coins and I'll trade for you? Or like something like that. It's not me. It's a scam. You will lose all of your money. Never send your money to anyone. Your money is your money, and nobody is going to make your money for you except for you. Never send funds to any random person on the internet. Even if it seems like it's a YouTuber, it's probably not. It's probably not. And that is very important, guys. I will never, ever ask you for coins. Ever. So, yeah, we were talking about Solana earlier. Talked a little bit about Ethereum, Bitcoin, and also, I was looking at the S&P earlier. And this is pretty important, actually, because remember, guys, even though people in crypto forget this, rarely is there ever a macro trend shift that is different between Bitcoin and the S&P or Bitcoin and stock market. Usually the macro trend, major tops, major bottoms of bull markets and bear markets relatively line up, right? You rarely ever get a major bull market for crypto when the stock market's crashing. It just doesn't happen, right? Because it's all based on confidence. Now, today the stock market was down. People were a little bit worried. One thing that I noticed about the S&P today is that we kind of see this interesting pattern where we pump up, come back, test. You know, it was pretty close to the previous resistance, pump up, come back, test the previous resistance as new support, pump up, come back, test the previous resistance as new support, pump up, come back, test that previous resistance as new support. We just pumped up. We're coming back now, right? We're coming back for the S&P. And pretty much within the next couple days, we probably want to see a bounce around 4,470 for the S&P right there. So in the next couple days, we would probably want to see a bounce with continuation. And it's still pretty good. Even though we're down today, we're still in a pretty good spot. We're right in the middle, the heart line of this upward sloping channel, just stair-stepping our way up. as long as we bounce here, it's pretty good. Not all too bad for the S&P. And again, a stable stock market is good for confidence for cryptos because it's all based on speculation. There's no magical force that makes them uncorrelated, right? They're loosely correlated on the macro trends, but the macro trends are significant, of course. So that's what we're looking for. Of course, you know, if we see, if we see the S&P fall below the previous resistance line here, doesn't hold as support, breaks down, comes out of the channel, that's going to be pretty, that's going to be not such a good day for most markets, right? That would be worst case scenario. But I think we'll probably get a bounce. Leading into, and I think we're probably going to trend up leading into the end of the year. And look for some kind of blow off top going into 2022, and that would line up with a crypto blow off top most likely. It's usually how it goes. Also, this also obviously is very important for crypto as well. The US dollar index right here. So interestingly enough, what you'll notice about the US dollar index, which again, Bitcoin responds to this. We have, the peak, which is basically during the COVID pandemic, with a lower high, followed by a lower high, followed by another lower high, followed by another lower high on all these points. And then recently there was like an attempted higher high. You guys see that for the DXY? Though it did fail, it did get some rejection. So we have this attempted higher high, now seeing rejection from that point. And what you'll notice recently, Mojo Crypto was posting this. I think I retweeted his tweet. He was pointing out the left head, right shoulder. So it looks like cash, it looks like the US dollar index is actually losing the momentum here. We have a head and shoulders pattern that indicates a decrease in momentum. If we fall below 91.70 for the DXY, then we're looking for probably a pretty significant move to the downside for the US dollar index, which is positive for the stock market. We'd probably see an inverse correlation with a pump in stocks, inverse correlation with a pump in crypto, right? Good for asset prices. And that's what it's looking like right now, a decrease in momentum for the US dollar, which is good for assets, guys. That's good for us. Again, if we are, of course, bulls and not bears. SYD on the net says, came in with another 5 years. He says, Kevin, it's pronounced, Sid. Sorry, Sid. My bad. Love your content. Only when I follow your TA rocks. I appreciate that, Sid. I'll try not to botch your name next time. Yeah, guys, it's always good to follow multiple people. You don't want to just listen to me, right? I specialize in a very particular set of things. There are other people that know a lot more things than me about certain things, right? You want to follow other people, right? I don't really talk too much about the tech side of things. I do that a little bit more in my Patreon, where we do a little bit more fundamental analysis for altcoins sometimes. We were doing that a lot when we were sitting at, it was like the beginning of the year. Mark says Chainlink is dead if you're an idiot. I guess you're making fun of. Didn't they just have news today, like that MasterCard was adopting some of their nodes or something? I think I saw that earlier. MasterCard is somehow utilizing Chainlink. I forget exactly what it was. I still have to research that, but I saw the headline. So we're seeing, adoption from MasterCard of all things for Chainlink. I mean, that's pretty big. As there's more demand for blockchain tech, guys, you're going to see more adoption from even bigger entities for Chainlink and other things, Ethereum, Chainlink, Polygon, Solana probably up and coming now. Right, so you guys got to think about that as well. But again, for those of you who are just joining in, be sure to smash the like button and subscribe to this channel if you're new. We were just talking about how the US dollar is losing momentum, and that's good for asset prices. So we're probably going to see a pump for stocks and crypto, probably. Now, there was one thing I was looking at. We're looking at checkonchain.com, looking at, there's a couple things we should look at here. So now, guys, the screen is white, so you might go blind. My bad. But we're looking at, let's look at some stablecoin on-chain metrics, because this is important. Because, you know, when you're talking about stablecoins, you're talking about the buying power in the market, right? And understanding the flow of money and the buying power and stuff like that is very, I mean, crucial to understanding what's going to happen next, right? So someone just says, "Are you Swedish?" Yeah, guys, I'm like 67% Scandinavian, but I live in the U.S. So anyway, the stablecoin flow ratio. So when you see stuff like this, so these huge green spikes, clearly what's happening, like if you're looking at the 2018 peak, zoom in, you see this huge green spike in the stablecoin flow ratio, 30 days. Obviously, stablecoins are flowing out of the market, right? People are taking profits, prices going down, huge exodus of stablecoins, right? And then if you're looking at areas like down here, just as an example, after the bottom of the bear market, right, tons of capitulation, this huge green area, tons of stablecoins flowing out. And then you see this area right here. We start to finally push towards resistance, and then stablecoins are flowing back into the market, right? So that's also important. Like right here, after the capitulation, stablecoins were flowing, buying power entering the market again. Right, and also if you look at this point, check out this point. From right here, when we were at 10K, all the way to 42, I mean, that was a huge pump. Right, so stablecoins are flowing into the market on those moves. And then, of course, we saw a lot of stablecoins flowing out when we were touching 30K, a lot of capitulation. But what's interesting is if you're looking right there, we held the 30,000 level alongside stablecoin inflow. And if you guys are viewers of this channel, we actually talked about this exact metric before we bounced. We were saying, guys, look, we got stablecoins inflow at the 30,000 low. This means that whales are buying here, right? This is one of the tools we used to call the bottom, to call 30K as the low. Right, which not many people did. A lot of people out there, a lot of influencers are now claiming that they were bullish at 30K, but you guys know that many of them were not. They absolutely were not. There were so many bears. Now everyone just pretends they weren't bearish. But guys, you can go check the record. We showed this exact metric, and it led us in the right direction because we had a major pump, and it continued deployment of stablecoins. All very important stuff to know, because it can literally tell the future. Of course, nothing's guaranteed, right? But it can kind of guide you in the right direction for the future. Now, what's interesting is if you're looking here, right there, we got some stable coins flowing out again, right? So people are taking profits. Of course, that lines up with this little top that we just got. So this metric, what it's saying to me is that, you know, maybe we get a little bit more, you know, we could see a little bit more stablecoin outflow, which would mean that, of course, there's always potential for Bitcoin to maybe come down to 40 or something. But I think that overall, the macro trend picture here is still pointing bullish. So maybe we see short-term downside and then a continued push up later on. Basically, like what I was saying earlier. What did I depict earlier? Yeah, something like this, right? A little bit of chop. Maybe we chop down to that resistance again, get a direct touch off of like 40. I don't know. Something along those lines, of course. The specifics, you never know. But I'm looking for a little bit of downside, maybe a little bit of chop, and then a possible bounce up. Now, I don't care to trade these moves, right? I literally could care less about going from 51 to 40. I could care less. All I'm going to do is I'm going to have cash ready to buy this dip, guys. I think anything below this blue 21 EMA is a buy zone, right? So we're probably not going to stay below that very long. So I'm just going to have cash ready. I don't care if we go down or not. I mean, I'd prefer we just pump, right? But I'm just warning you guys that stablecoin flow shows maybe a little bit of continued profit taking for the short term. Long term, I think we're good. And then also the next one, switching over here, looks similar, but this is the buying power in the market for stable coins. And the green is underbought. So when you see green, that's underbought. And we saw that while we were at this 30,000 low, this is another metric we used to call the bottom, was we were saying, guys, holy crap, look how much buying power is on the sidelines. We were like, wow. I mean, just imagine if this pops back into the market. And lo and behold, that's exactly what happened. It popped back in a big way, and we launched, right? So that showed the green is the potential buying power, the money on the sidelines, right? So we saw a lot of that potential buying power become realized. Huge pump. So it's like a rubber band. When you see these huge pockets of stablecoins sitting on the sidelines, it's like at some point it's going to slingshot back into the market and you're going to rip. Right? So right now we're coming back off of that rubber band to the downside. And if you look close, look what we got. We got stablecoins coming back onto the sidelines, profit takers, right? That thin green line right there. So there is money coming back onto the sidelines, which means we may see a little bit more sideways chop, or that doesn't really visually look right. Make this like green or something, right? We may see like a little bit more of this happening until, you know, and maybe a couple weeks from now, we just kind of shoot back up. That buying power re-enters the market. So that kind of just goes along with like my thing, this depiction where it's like, yeah, maybe Bitcoin just chops sideways and then bounces up later, right? So these are all the important on-chain metrics, guys, that, you know, can kind of guide you in the right direction. And again, I just colored this chart. So we might see stablecoins come back on the sidelines. We might see that rubber band effect, and then we'll shoot back out in a couple weeks or something, or a month. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see exactly how long it takes. But guys, if you find this content valuable and informative, definitely smash the like button, subscribe to this channel, because all this stuff is important. And if you get the hang of it, on-chain is really fun. Let's see what people are saying in chat. I've missed chat. Did I miss any super chats? Sid is giving me another €5 and says, Kevin, do you take risks to get the blood pumping? No, guys. My style is really relaxed, actually. My style is very relaxed, guys. I'm more so the long-term macro trend focused. I mean, when the market swings a little bit, like literally the other day, I could have slept through that. I could have slept through that move down to 42K. I could have literally just like, I could have slept through it. It just means nothing to me. Like this little move here, guys, that we just saw, means nothing to me. I could sleep through it. It doesn't like, I just have so much experience that it just doesn't faze me anymore. I just don't care. This is like a baby move, right? People are like freaking out, right? You go out on Twitter when this happens, people are freaking out. I mean, it's like a baby swing. It's just another day in the market, guys. For any crypto veterans out there, it's just another day. Nothing big. But yeah, we'll see. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised to see maybe another test down, right? Just to be mentally prepared that, okay, maybe Bitcoin could come down and chop here before coming up again. I'm always mentally prepared for that kind of thing. So also, I completely skipped over the title of the video, which is kind of funny. The 200-day moving average. Did I talk about this? I don't think I did. So the 200-day, we can see that the market was clearly interested in it because we were coming up, chopping above it, below it, chopping above it, below it, chopping above it, and then we started to bounce off of it once, bounced off of it twice, and then rallied up. And then we saw a whale, or what, you know, whales dumping, creating a cascading liquidation effect, right? And now we saw a wick below the 200-day, but you can see that market participants are definitely aware of it because we popped back up, closed the daily above the 200-day, right, for that day. Yesterday, we closed the daily right on the 200-day. And right now, what time is it, guys? We have basically just over 2 hours left until the daily close. It's looking like the market is going to at least attempt to close above the 200-day. Right, so the market is aware of this. And we'll see. If we do close above the 200-day, then maybe we can get a bounce. Right, maybe that will create some confidence for a bounce if we close above the 200-day. If we start closing dailies below the 200-day, of course, that might actually signal another test into support before a recovery. So that is definitely important. So the blue 21-day EMA and the yellow 50-day EMA, we found a lot of our support right in between these two on the way up. They were pretty key on our uptrend, these two. We found support right in the middle of those a lot of times. And now we're kind of like back into that kind of a position where we're like right in between. Though we can see that the 21-day EMA is starting to point downwards, which means momentum is kind of shifting, getting a little bit more flat on the 50-day. So, yeah, and usually we didn't, well, actually, looking at it now, right as we curled over for the 21-day, we saw a little bit of downside momentum. Usually got a bounce on this uptrend. Now, that's not really, you can't really, I'm not saying there's going to be a fractal, but we'll see. You know, maybe we see a little bit of downside momentum. If we test support and look for a bounce. I mean, guys, that's the thing, though. Like, I'm talking about this from a macro bullish perspective. Like, this previous resistance at 40K, 42K, that's what we got to hold, right? If we can't hold this, that's very bearish. I mean, if we fall below, you know, yeah, I guess we could test this downward sloping resistance and bounce off that or something. But again, like I said earlier in the stream, if we come back below 40 to 42 and we bounce up and that's like a resistance, I mean, that's really bearish, right? That just shows total shift in sentiment. So we want to hold 40 to 42 and bounce without a doubt. We cannot lose that, at least not for very long. Yeah, breaking MasterCard acquires Chainlink node operator Cipher Trace. I saw that. Although I feel like I don't think Chainlink responded to the news very much, did it? Let's check it out. Not much response from the price. Pretty much just sitting there. That's the thing. The Chainlink market cap is so high that it's hard to get these news, the news momentum like that. I feel like what we need is more from the Chainlink Solana partnership. That's the kind of news we need because everyone's talking about Solana right now. Yeah, I think that Solana is probably going to be a multi-$1,000 coin at some point. It's looking. Oh, we're actually back in the green on today's daily. We're back in the green. So yeah, sadly, I was gonna buy it at 3, and I was like, I couldn't figure out how to use Serum for some reason that day, and I was like, I'll do it later. And then it pumped, and I was like, oh, I'm not gonna FOMO. And then it just runs all the way up to 40, and then I bought the dip in the 20s. So my entry's right here. That was like the first thing I did on the dip. Still pretty good. I missed out on so much, though. This is Solana, by the way, guys. Alessandra says, thank you for all you do. I'm having the best education from you. You are a superstar for me. Alessandra, you're my superstar. I appreciate you. You guys are all really what makes everything I do possible. All your support. Inky says, hey, Kelvin Schmidgen. Love your content. Thanks. Always lurking. Just wanted to say thanks. Inky, I appreciate you. Thank you for the 5. Did I miss anything else? Alessandra came in with €5. I appreciate that. Joe G came in with $5. He said, could you cover Matic if not already? Yeah, I haven't talked about Matic yet. We can definitely talk about that. I saw some metrics earlier that said that Polygon has more... No. Yeah, because of OpenSea NFT trading, Polygon has more users than Ethereum Layer 1. I didn't confirm that. I saw the metric and I was like, really? I haven't actually taken the time to make sure that that's true, but I think it's true that Polygon has more users because of OpenSea NFT trading than all of Ethereum layer 1. And that is the killer app right there. That is crazy. Sid says, Kevin, what country do you think will give Bitcoin legal tender next? I don't know. I don't know. Probably another, third world country that's a little bit poorer, that's being, manipulated by the banks. Because really, if you're a third world country and you make Bitcoin legal tender, you're kind of just giving like a big middle finger to the banks. You're basically saying, hey, we have another option here, so you better do what we want. It's kind of like what it is, in my opinion. That's just how I see it. So it'd probably be another third world country. And I think it's smart. They could probably create stable coins pegged to or using Bitcoin value or something to back their stable coins. Like stuff like that is all possible in the future. So, the IMF, the Federal Reserve, better watch out. Let's see. RB says, Kevin Monero, please. We were just talking about that. We just had it up. I was saying multi-$1,000 target for Monero. It's looking pretty likely, actually. So now we're going to pull up Polygon. Guys, let me know in the chat if you guys own Polygon. Actually, let me know in the chat, what is your favorite coin right now? Just type it in the chat. Type your favorite coin. Make sure it's a coin that's reasonable. I don't want to see random crap coins in there. I don't want to see Shiba or something weird like that. Wait, I got to pull this up on Binance. So here we go. Here we go. Here's the Polygon chart. Getting a nice little dip recently. So once again, shameless brag for those of you in the Patreon. We were talking about how, we dip bought Solana in the $20 range. Now it's up 600%. In Patreon, I made an alert for Polygon. At 4 cents, we made 6,000% gains. 6,000%. Pretty cool. Yeah, so definitely check the links below if you want to join Patreon. See what other altcoins I'm buying right now. So yeah, we're talking about Polygon. Somebody was asking about it. And it's looking pretty good overall. Again, fundamentally, like I just said, just to make it clear, the fundamentals for Polygon are solid. I mean, we have OpenSea now apparently has more users. Polygon has more users than Ethereum layer 1 because of like the trendiness of NFTs and all the people talking about NFTs and like the hordes of the non-crypto people going to OpenSea to try to buy NFTs, like all that kind of stuff is actually creating such hype, and Polygon's usage is going sky high. Right? I don't even think people realize they're using Polygon, right? The masses. But the fundamentals are there. So the 200-day moving average, that was our direct support line. Nice to see that. A good response from the 200-day. That means that very likely, if we do come back to it, that's going to be a really good area of entry, right? So if that's like probably your more optimal one. Though it probably won't. Unless Bitcoin dumps a lot more. I shouldn't say probably. We're pretty close to it. We're pretty close to it as it is. So we totally could come back to the 200-day. And I think that that's going to be an area that a lot of people look to buy. So if you're looking for an entry into Polygon, again, not financial advice, but exactly $1 psychological number also would line up with the 200-day moving average, would be a pretty optimal entry for Polygon. $1. So that's right, if you're looking for entries. Also, we have left shoulder, head, right shoulder. Not to be a stereotypical crypto analyst and talk about head and shoulders, but hey, this is what it indicates, right? We're talking about an increase in momentum for the bulls. That's all this means, right? That's what an inverse head and shoulder means. And opposite, when you see a head and shoulder, it's a decrease in momentum for the bulls, right? When you see something like that, but we're seeing the opposite. So bulls are increasing their momentum, though we are getting some strong horizontal resistance off of $1.70. And really, like I was saying in previous videos and posts on Twitter and stuff like that, this $1.70 level is pretty much, once we crack this and we start closing dailies and weeklies above it, in my opinion, that's a very strong signal that, hey, we're probably going to be hitting new all-time highs. So once you punch above $1.70, confirm it as support. Again, that would be another entry. So if you don't get your $1 entry, because we never go down, the next like good entry with a confirmation would be a breakout above $1.70 with a retest, and on that retest, there's your entry on $1.70. Would give you some confidence, and then a breakout, and then to me that's new all-time highs. And I do think that we would probably end up going parabolic again, in looking for targets possibly upwards of, I don't know, $5 to $7 possibly. Mr. Cyclone coming at the 5. He says, please look at Hex. Thanks for your videos. I'll take a look. Chris Dubai coming in with the 50. I appreciate that. I believe that's Mr. Goodcat from the Discord. Coming to the 50. I appreciate that. You always come in with the 50 euros every time. I really appreciate that. Sid coming in with another 5. He says, Kevin, do you do leverage? No, I don't. Very rarely. Very rarely. I'll use leverage in a bear market to short altcoins, because that's going to be a really good way to make money, is shorting shit coins in a bear market. That's going to be awesome, right? Do that on leverage, you'll make a ton of money, right? But you got to be careful. You got to be careful with the way that you use leverage. I've never promoted leverage on this channel, because I think it's, kind of unethical to do so. Because really, it's just the only reason you would do it is just to make money off of new people, and you're basically taking new people and putting them in harm's way and saying, hey, click this link so I can make money off you and take huge risks, getting exposure to leverage without knowing what you're doing. I mean, it is what it is. People can do whatever they want, right? It's everyone's choice. Everyone's responsible for their own decisions. It's no one's fault. I just don't want to take part in it. I'm just looking at chat here. So yeah, Chris Dubai is the top tipper of the night right now with 50 euros. Chris is number 1. Yeah, we were looking at Engine the other day. Oh yeah, what did someone just ask me to look at? Oh yeah, Hex. Do we have Hex on Cryptowatch? Let's see. Where is it listed? We have Hex Bitcoin, Uniswap Hex DAI, Hex USDC. Forgot there's Uniswap here. Yeah, by the way, guys, definitely you can analyze Uniswap prices on Cryptowatch, this site that I'm using right now. So definitely click the link below and sign up if that's something you want to do. Wait, so what is the percent gain on this? This is from we're gonna go from 2020, December 2020. That's insane. 15,000% gains from December 2020. That's absurd. I remember looking at this. Where was it? I think it was here. I forget. This is the launch, right? Yeah. I remember watching Richard Hart stream during the launch, and I was like, yeah, I don't know if I want to buy this right now. I'll wait. And yeah, I totally missed out. I mean, Hex is definitely creating some millionaires right now, which is pretty cool. For a trend like this, I mean, how do you even analyze this? Let's take a look. Let's go to the 3-day chart. This is what we would call a supernova. Even though Hex could probably go higher, just be really careful. We're on a very parabolic trend. So basically, the way that I would treat this or handle this right now for Hex is, if you get, so this is the parabolic trend. Remember, this is from 0.002 cents. All right, here's the parabolic trend. Now up to 46 cents. Right, so this is what I'd be looking at. because this parabolic trend sort of maps out emotional feedback and the level of emotional feedback that we have, right? So, you know, people bought Hex down here. It broke out. They got excited. They told their friends. Then more people bought here. It broke out. They got excited. They told their friends, right? And that type of thing continues. Emotional feedback, the feedback, until it gets to a point where it's extending so high, so fast that it's just too much, right? I'm not saying it can stop here, right? I don't know. Maybe it'll punch up again, go to $1, right? You never know when these trends are going to stop, but at some point, basically what we're looking at is you want to see when is this going to break this parabolic trend, and when it does, that is going to be like that. You're going to want to probably take profits. So once you get a break of the parabolic trend, guys, it's a very strong signal that the emotional feedback has overextended the market, and it's gotten to an unsustainable point. So again, that could happen here, or you could punch up to $1 or more, whatever, and then it happens there, or even higher. You never know. But once you get a break of that trend, you're going to see some epic pullbacks, right? You're going to come back to at least like 20 cents, right? Again, maybe Hex goes higher, but you're going to come back to at least 20 cents. You're going to test that previous resistance. It could be as low as 6 cents, but that would probably, if Bitcoin's in a bull market, I would say probably look for 20 cents and then some sideways action or something along those lines. So Hex is in a supernova. Pretty cool for the Hex holders. 433 people watching. Definitely smash the like button. Subscribe to this channel if you're new. Devi coming with the 5. He says, side thought on 50 EMA or watch for dead cat bounce. 50 EMA for Bitcoin, I'm assuming you're saying watch for the dead cat bounce. It's really, the 200 day is where we are right now. So the 200 day is like right next to the 50 day. So, the 200 day has more significance than the 50 day. So I'd probably just be looking at the 200 day at this point. Dead cat bounce, we're kind of just holding this level. We haven't really bounced yet. If we're closing dailies above the 200 day, then we might actually get a recovery of some kind, right? If we start closing dailies below the 200 day, we might see a move down to the low 40s before a bounce. Again, short term, I don't really even care that much about it. Why are we being spammed in the chat? Where are my mods? We have like spammers. I don't even know what's... yeah. Guys, if you're spamming, you're going to get wrecked. Where are my mods at? I've got to control these spammers. Craig says, Kevin, how do you think that the vaccine mandates will affect crypto? I don't think they're going to affect it. It doesn't. Why would it? Why would that do anything? If you think about it, vaccine mandates might be like some sort of social distress. Maybe some people get pissed, but it's like if everyone gets the vaccine, then technically that makes people feel safer, which might be a more stable stock market, which means more confidence for crypto speculation. So I would actually just say no effect, and we'll probably just continue doing what we're doing for that. Yeah, my mods need to control spammers here. But anyway, yeah, we've talked about a lot of stuff here. Anything that I missed, I wonder. Yeah, one thing that might be key for everything, again, is the US dollar index, which is possibly losing momentum, and that's going to be a very bullish sign for everything else. So keep your eye on the US dollar index, possible head and shoulders here. Yeah, I saw Zora having the gaming partnership, pretty cool. I did see that in my Discord chat, in my Patreon VIP chat. People are asking about Polkadot. Let's see what is Dot doing. What is the market cap now? Let's take a look. Market cap is now 31 billion for Polkadot. Pretty big. So that's why. I mean, I was just wondering, you know, why are we going so sideways? I mean, that's why. So that was this. I haven't looked at Dot in a couple weeks. I forgot we had that like megaphone, that broadening wedge before the breakdown. And we had this downward sloping resistance line, and then we popped it. We had a falling wedge. Broadening wedge turned into a falling wedge, turned into a breakout. Now, at this point, not too much of a pattern to be looking at. We just got rejection off of what? Highest high to lowest low, the 618 golden retrace. So we'll see. I mean, Polkadot's probably going to be a strong asset in this bull market. I think it's pretty clear though. Like, you know, market cap is now pretty big, and we're getting a lot of sideways action here. Pretty much got to wait for Ethereum and Bitcoin to get breakouts. You can kind of see if you're looking at Polkadot here, right? Just take a look at this chart, and then we'll pull up Bitcoin. Let's get Bitcoin on the 3-day chart. Right. I mean, there is like, you know, it's kind of interesting to see that Polkadot and Bitcoin have a very, look at that, how similar that structure is. Of course, not exactly the same, but my point is, I think the market cap of Polkadot is now so big that if there isn't any significant fundamental like news or something, then maybe it's just going to kind of follow Bitcoin. Though I think that if Ethereum does get a breakout sooner, because Ethereum is likely going to break out before Bitcoin, and if it does, maybe that will lead Dot to be becoming a little bit more bullish and maybe getting a breakout before Bitcoin. But I think it's kind of just following the market, guys, right? I mean, that's pretty evident. It's kind of just following the rest of the market. That's how I see Dot right now. Trace Cyrus says, be real with yourself, invest in gold bullion. It's the best option when the electrical grids go down. No, guns and ammo and food and water would be the best option for an investment when the electric grid goes down. I don't want your gold if the electric grid is down. I want your guns, your food, and your water, and your house. And your garden. The gold, I'll use that to, like, I don't know, smash windows or something. I mean, guys, if something happens to the electric, you know what's really funny? People talk about the electrical grid as being some kind of risk for Bitcoin. Like, oh, but what if the power goes out? I mean, guys, if the power goes out, all of your banking records and your credit card records are probably going to be wiped. But you could take the blockchain and then just reinstate it the moment before the grid went down, or the day before the grid went down, and just reinstate it that way. If you have your keys, you get your coins. I mean, even if it's 5 years later, right? Just going to the extreme here, Bitcoin is actually safer than. I mean, that argument isn't even good. I mean, it's you can just reinstate the blockchain at any time, wherever you want. It's actually pretty good for power, for grid knockdowns. It's, I mean, like, not really, but I'm saying, like, there is a failsafe there. But anyway, guys, on that note, I think I'm just going to leave it at that. I think that's a fun way to end this. We've been streaming for probably like an hour. Yeah, exactly 1 hour. So I appreciate all you guys tuning in. Smash that like button on your way out. Subscribe to this channel if you're new. Hit the bell icon so you know when I go live next. Somebody just sent a super chat. I don't even know how to say your name. I appreciate the 5. We're not looking at any more coins. Sorry, you just tipped at a really bad time. We're ending the stream, but I appreciate your support and your €5. But yeah, guys, that's it for the stream. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. We'll play some music as we end this stream. And again, smash the like button on your way out. I'll talk to you guys soon. Also, before you guys leave, definitely check out all the links below. Join the Discord. Follow me on Twitter. Join my Patreon if you want to see what other altcoins I'm buying, if you want to get access to my public portfolio. And sign up for Cryptowatch as well, which is this platform that you guys see me use in all my videos. It's totally free. Click those links below. And I'll see you guys soon.